wait screen, none of that stuff. We're getting right to the meat and potatoes of tonight. So welcome back, everyone. It's October 1st. Crazy that we only have 3 months left of 2024. Pretty wild. But hope everyone is doing well out there. And tonight's topic is going to be discussing a streaming platform that I have been experimenting with for about the last, really since the beginning of the year, honestly. I just released my new album called Unknown Advantage, and I wanted to have more of a different way of releasing the project. And I ended up discovering this platform called Even, which some of you might have heard of, some of you might not have heard of. It's really grown in popularity over the past year and a half at this point. So a little background before we get started on how I discovered the platform. It was probably July of 2023, so last year. I had seen a video by an artist named LaRussell, who is a very prominent independent artist. He puts out a ton of music. He has probably 100 albums at this point, or just projects in general, EPs, albums. He puts out singles all the time. He releases quite frequently. And in this video, I think it was a radio interview, they were asking him about this platform where essentially you give people early access to the music, and then you release it to streaming platforms. So like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all the main ones. But you would release it to this platform first and give people like a month or two to experience it. But you put it behind a paywall, essentially. So it's kind of like Bandcamp, where you're asking your fans to pay for the music. But the whole thing is you give them early access and you give them access to merch, like exclusive merch or listening sessions, concerts, things of that nature. As long as it's things you can provide the fans. So he was talking about that. And then I kind of just researched like how he was using it. He put out some other videos on his YouTube channel about it. And then I just ended up discovering their Instagram, their social media, and just kind of doing a little more background. And I was like, I think it would be worth trying, because I felt like at the time, at that point, I had been releasing my own music for 3.5 years. I had been cultivating a little bit of a fan base, not a huge fan base, and I still don't have a huge fan base, to be honest. So some might say I might have done this prematurely, and we're going to get into the details of like what I think about, my opinion on who should use this platform and when they should use it, because I do have an opinion on that. But I'd say I jumped in prematurely, but I jumped in because just the research I had done got me very excited about what Even was doing and what they were saying that they were going to do. And yeah, I've like I said, 1 month from today, so on September 1st is when I launched my project. So we're going to get into this here. I've gathered a lot of research about their company, their website, and really just, the process where it stands today, because they're still fairly new as far as, their platform and when they launched, which I think they officially launched in 2021 or 2022, somewhere in there. But they really didn't start picking up steam until last summer, when a lot of different artists started to sign up. And now I forget what the threshold that they just passed is, but they passed a pretty big threshold. I think it might be like 100,000 artists signed up, and they currently have a wait list because they had to kind of condense it down because so many people have been signing up. They've had an influx of users, and luckily I was able to get in before that influx and was able to get confirmed, and we're going to get into that. So let's just stop talking here. Let me get into all the notes I prepped here, and we're going to start out with what is Even. So Even is more than just a platform. It's a community that thrives on the direct connection between artists and their fans. It revolutionizes the way fans can support their favorite artists and how artists can give back to the most loyal fans. Essentially what I just said, which is you are providing not just early access to music, but you're supposed to attach an experience to that. And obviously, for artists to stand out nowadays, that's a big thing in general. You want to have merch, you want to have maybe vinyls or t-shirts or hoodies or something that is exclusively for the people that want to hear the music early. Because, while there's people that want to hear it early and maybe they only want the music, most people aren't going to do that when they could wait a month to hear it for free on Spotify or Apple Music. So they really hammer home the fact of you need to have an experience attached to the music to really get people in there. And when you sign up and you get confirmed, they have like a whole starter kit on like how to plan your release and notes from other artists who have done it successfully, and they tell you, some tips and tricks on how to set it up to where you can have success. It says when you purchase a release on Even, you're not just buying music, you're gaining early access to an artist's creative work. This could include the latest music, exclusive content, first dibs on tour tickets, merchandise, and much more. It's a first-class experience for fans, offering more than the typical streaming or purchase options available elsewhere. So they basically want you to utilize the platform for those purposes. And through that, you attract your really hardcore day one fans. I would not say that this is for someone that just became a fan like a month ago of your music. It's for the people that have been with you for 7, 8, 9+ years. And they've seen you pretty much since the beginning. They've seen your growth. They've seen your music get better and improve. That's who this is for. And that leads me to my first point, which is, you know what? I'll get to that point because I see the order I have here. I'll get to the point here in a minute. How does Even work? Even operates with the aim of fostering a direct and rewarding relationship between artists and fans. Here is a step-by-step guide to how it works. Step 1. Explore the catalog. With Even, fans can browse through a wide variety of releases from their favorite artists. These could include singles, albums, EPs, or even exclusive content that's not available elsewhere. So, little side note, when I signed up for this platform, they were only allowing you to release full projects. So albums, I don't know about EPs, maybe they were, but they made it clear that you could not release singles. But since the user count has grown and the listener count and the accounts in general have doubled, tripled, whatever, they've allowed people to start releasing singles. In my opinion, I still think albums is the way to go because albums are the way that it's the big thing that you're trying to hype up to get people ready for. And when I did my project, I was still releasing the singles from the project to normal streaming services, but then I was saying, if you want to hear the album, get ready for the release on Even, but here's a taste of what you can expect from the album in the singles. And the thing is, I'm positive that bigger artists could find a way to sell singles and make it like a real experience, but I think for smaller artists, it really just doesn't make sense. But if you can get creative enough to find a way to sell your single, go ahead and just experiment with it and see what happens. I might experiment myself one day with the singles thing, but I think this platform thrives on like building up hype around a big project, like really just hammering home an experience of that music and visuals and merchandise and all that stuff. And to me, you build that the best around full projects. So that's just my opinion. But just know you can release whatever you want on this platform now, which I think is super cool. Purchase releases. Once a fan has chosen a release they'd like to own, they can purchase it directly on the platform. So yeah, basically you will set up how you want it to be done. And you can set it in a different type of way. You can have a set price. Like let's say you want everyone to pay $5 for the release. So you set it to $5 and I believe they can still pay more even if you have the set price. But I set it to pay what you want for the release, which means people can pay $2 or more to get the release. And then for each threshold that you will make, you'll put a different price point. So let's say you just want to offer the music. Well, that's the pay what you want. So that's $2 or more. And for me, I did the vinyl for early access for the vinyl release. So I set that at a minimum of $10. That way people are paying more for that early access to both the music and the vinyl. And you can make it whatever you want. Like it said, you could do the tour tickets, a virtual experience, merchandise, whatever you want to do. You get creative with it. But a big thing that they also let people know about is make sure you can follow through on the experiences you are offering, because even themselves are not going to be able to do that. They don't offer you the ability to sell directly through their platform, the actual like merchandise and the experiences. So you have to do that on your own. So you're kind of responsible for keeping track of who is buying, what they're buying, and how are you going to follow through on that plan to give them what they bought. Which again, they might streamline that in a way where it's a little more like user and consumer friendly in the future. Maybe they'll have a way where everything could be taken care of from their platform, but currently the way it's set up, you have to do all the back end work on your own. So that's why the planning of this thing is so important. But like I said earlier, they give you the steps and the tools to plan a successful launch. So you're not just going in with like half of a plan and being like, well, now what do? I don't understand it. They make it fairly simple to understand. And from what I've seen with each update, they're continuing to let people know about, how can they utilize the new updates? How can they be successful? And they put you in a good position to, they put you in a good position to see success with your release. Gain exclusive access. Upon purchasing a release, fans are granted something we call all access. This gives them the ability to listen to the music before it's available on streaming platforms. All access could include first dibs on merchandise, which is what we've been talking about. So again, they really let people know that this platform is for early access. That's really what it is. And yeah, that's the real thing. So this is not an alternative to Spotify or Apple Music or any of the main streaming platforms. This is essentially the starter point for your project and a way to make a lot more money with your project before it actually is heard by anybody else. Discuss releasing. Yeah, so now we're getting to my points. So that was pretty much the notes from Even's website, which I'll let you guys know where to access that coming up. But I just want to cover like some of my personal experience with it and my opinions on the platform. So again, I'm a month in to launching this, my album, which is Unknown Advantage. It's an instrumental album, which is actually now on all streaming platforms because I just put it out everywhere on the 27th of September. So definitely go check that out, or you can go support it on even.biz. It's on both. So if you go to my Instagram or whatever platform you follow me on, definitely, you want to hear it, just go stream it. You want to support it, go to Even. But I found it interesting that I actually made $20 from the release in the first week. And you might be saying, well, $20 is not that much. But I like how Even gives a breakdown of the streaming equivalent versus the dollar amount that you receive. So in that $20 that I got in the first week, it equaled out to over 5,000 streams for the full project. Currently, the project is sitting at 2,938 streams just on Spotify. That's not everywhere. That's just on Spotify. But it goes to show you that in that same amount of time, because it's been almost a week since I dropped on streaming now, just in that time alone, I made way more money than I would have ever made just from the streaming aspect of it. And I think that just goes to show the power that the platform has. Just being able to actually make dollars instead of cents, because the big thing with streaming is that, you know, we're getting what, half a penny or a fourth of a penny on every stream. And then, you know, you got to think if you're splitting that with different people, you know, you're getting even less than that. Luckily, this was a project that I did all on my own. So I'm the only one I retain all the rights. I'm getting all the revenue, all that stuff. Even has also set up a way to split royalties with people, which is great. And that's going to be a huge thing down the line. If a lot more people start joining the platform, being able to do the splits is a huge thing. But you got to think, even when you're splitting, you're still going to be making dollars instead of cents. And I've just been thinking about like the different collaboration opportunities where you can like cross-pollinate your audiences, and then think about, you could make twice or three times the amount of revenue because you guys are co-releasing and doing different things and promoting the project and promoting your even release together. I mean, the possibilities are pretty endless with that. So it's very exciting. I mean, for me, I'm going to stick to doing the solo projects for now because I can control all the aspects of it. And like I said, you got to really plan this stuff out. I mean, I started the planning for my project last year. And so I'd probably say I started in August or September, like actually planning out what I was going to do and doing that research and like figuring out, is it even possible to do? And then following through with that plan and being able to utilize social media to promote it as well. And if you get signed up and if you get through and you get your account, you'll see what I mean. But like I said, they help you along the way, which is super helpful. So getting signed up for this platform, like I said, they have a wait list currently. When I signed up, which was probably in December or January, maybe even before that, I'm not really sure. I don't really remember. It took me about a week to get confirmed for this platform and officially verified. Other people, I've heard it's taking way longer. My friend actually signed up for this platform and he didn't get confirmed for about 2 to 3 months. And I've also seen some other people that have been signing up and they've had to wait much longer. So somehow I got lucky and I must have just hit it at the right time and I got in within 1 week. I think it was like a week exactly that I got in. What you want to make sure that you have some certain things that you really need. You need to include your social media links, so like Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call that. As many social links as you can get, that will help you a lot because they'll be able to verify who you are. If you have like a good amount of, you don't need a huge fan base, but you need at least something going on. You need some monthly listeners, I think, is what they're looking at. You need some things like that. So I think that plays into it a little bit, and just make sure that everything looks pretty seamless across all the platforms that you're using. You need a good profile picture, honestly. You need a good banner for your header image. Just like make things look presentable, make yourself look official, just like you would on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever you use. And you're trying to make yourself look, you know, presentable as an artist and attract listeners. You want to do the same thing here. Again, I don't know exactly what their criteria is because I'm not behind the scenes. I don't know what they're looking at. But if I had to take a guess, they're looking at things like that. Things that will say, you know, if they don't think you're going to have success, I don't think they would accept you as far as being able to get verified and things like that. I think they want people on the platform that they know are going to have at least some type of success. And it might not always be that way. I mean, the more people that join, I think it's going to become a lot easier to like get in the platform and get, you know, verified and things like that. Currently as well, the big thing and the big reason I'd say you should try this platform out to see if it works for you is that it is completely free. There is no monthly fee. There's no annual fee yet. And I'm going to get to that in a minute because I have some opinions on that. But all you do is connect, I think it's your Stripe account. I think you can connect maybe PayPal, some type of payment method to receive your funds that you get. And the payout, I'm not sure about. They have recently changed the payout. I think they're trying to get people paid every month or every week even. But I really haven't looked into that a ton because I've been sidetracked with other things currently. But yeah, completely free platform currently. But that moves me to what I think is going to happen soon. And this is kind of inevitable with the amount of users going up. I think that eventually you're going to have to pay for this platform. And it's kind of the unnecessary evil of any type of platform that needs to grow. They have to be able to make money. So if they're not making money from the users, they're only getting ad revenue and they're only getting angel investors and things like that. So if it keeps growing, which it has, eventually I'm just waiting on the moment when we have to pay for this platform, which I'm okay with, because I think the difference is, you pay annually for CD Baby, DistroKid, TuneCore, but are you even, if you're not passing a certain amount of streams, are you really even making that money back? Like, you're kind of just throwing money away at the end of the day. It's to get heard, it's for a good reason, but you might not always get that return. And I think it would be cool to always try to get that return. So if they can keep that annual fee or even the monthly fee low, I think it's going to have a lot of power to say, like, yeah, I'll pay $20 a year if I can make like minimum of $100 because I already profited. So it's things like that, but I would not get used to this platform being free. And my advice, if I could give any, is get in as soon as you can, because you want to get in while it's free. And that's how I looked at it when I was researching it. I was like, that was my first thought. I was like, there's no way this platform is always going to be a free platform. So I need to get in now while I can and utilize it and figure it out and kind of be ahead of the curve. And I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of the curve, especially among a lot of the artists that I know and the people that I'm connected with. They've been asking me about it, and that's really the main reason I've made this video and wanted to do this, because I wanted to let people know about the platform and how it's been so far for me. But yeah, it's not going to be free forever. There's really no way that it can. If they want to do the things that they're trying to do and like take on the streaming and the music industry and all this stuff, it'll eventually be something you have to pay for. But that would be my advice, is just to get in and test it out. And my last bit of advice, if I could give any, is make sure you have some type of an audience. Because if you are completely brand new and you have no audience and you've never released anything to streaming and you have no one checking out your stuff currently, don't do this platform. Don't sign up yet. And I say yet because it's not like it's impossible, like you're never going to be able to do this, but you need to make sure you have a successful release when you do. And you can't do that if you don't have fans, if you don't have anybody that's willing to pay for your music. And like I said, I made that decision based on the fact that I had been self-releasing my music for 3.5 years, and that might have even been too soon, honestly. Like, if I had waited a few more years, maybe I would have had an even more successful release. Who knows? But I think moving forward, it'll be easier for me to promote and figure out how to utilize the platform to have more successful launches in the future. But if you're, like I said, if you haven't released anything and you're just starting out, don't even worry about this yet. If you wanna worry about it 2 to 3 years from now, if you feel like your fan base is at that point where they're supporting all the things you're doing, go ahead and do that. But for now, I think you gotta stick with what works and what's simple. Just simplify the process. Release to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Get your name out there and then build that audience, and then you can focus on something like this where you're able to make more revenue. Other than that, I mean, that's pretty much my 2 cents on it. Would I say it's worth it? I would say it is worth it. Because like I said, I mean, even though I only made $20 in that first week, it's like that would have taken me much longer, even with getting playlisted on like Spotify and editorial playlists. You're still not going to rack up a ton of streams unless you have that consistency or you got some type of a build up, or you're just hitting the right playlists. But so far, this is my best year for getting playlisted on organic playlists, but it's still not even close to what I got within a few days on that platform. So I'd say it's definitely worth it to check out. So definitely what you're going to want to do you're going to want to go to get.even.biz, and that'll take you to the sign up page where, again, I haven't been on the site in a while on this version of the site because I'm already signed up. So I have access to Backstage and like my analytics and all the things that an artist will have access to. But get signed up as soon as you can, because like I said, if you can do this while it's free, that's really what you want to aim for. So again, that's get.even.biz.com, or go to even.biz on Instagram. They're primarily on Instagram currently. I think they are on Threads, maybe a couple other things like YouTube and things like that, but they're primarily on Instagram. So it's at even.biz, and go just research the platform. And I'd even recommend checking out videos of people like LaRussell discussing the platform and their experience with it, and just see if it's right for you. This isn't something you have to do. This is something that I think is a cool thing to try out and see if it works for you. But like I said, if you don't have a fan base, don't even worry about this yet. Come back to this video in like a year or two, and who knows where this platform will go by then. I think it's going to keep having success because I do like their business model. I just think it's eventually going to cost money in some way, shape, or form. I just don't know when or how much. But be prepared for that. But like I said, when you get a much bigger return, I'd say it's more worth it to pay annually or monthly for a service like this. So even, I'd say it's worth it. I'm not affiliated. They're not paying me to make this video. This is solely just my experience as an independent artist with this platform. But yeah, definitely go check it out. And if you're watching the YouTube replay of this, I will have that link in the description of the video. So go ahead and click that and follow it, and I guess sign up for the waitlist, because that's where we're at this point in time. But yeah, we're about at half an hour at this point, and I didn't really have anything else. I mean, this was kind of a get in and get out type of situation today. But I hope you guys got some information about the platform. Like I said, there's probably other videos that you can go check out on YouTube that have a lot more information than even what I've provided today. But I would say definitely look into it. So no stream next week. I have a couple birthdays to attend, and I got some other things going on in life next week, and it just didn't look good to schedule a stream on Tuesday, or really any other day, because I'm just kind of swamped. But in 2 weeks, I will be back. So October 15th, we're going to be discussing project name brainstorming. So really just, coming up with ideas for naming your projects, naming your albums, EPs, even your songs. We're going to be going into like storyboarding and different types of ways that you can figure out what you're going to name your projects, and the things I've done in the past that have helped me be able to brainstorm titles. So it'll be a super interesting topic. I might need 2 weeks to research that one to really give you guys something cool. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. A shorter stream today, but definitely go check out even.biz if you're interested. And until the 15th, take care, and thanks as always for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.